Have you ever held a book in your hands and felt as though its words were speaking directly to your heart? Have you ever wondered if a single passage could change not only your perspective, but the very way you live? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to explore the transformative power of encountering the Platform Sutra, not just as a text, but as a living light that shines on the ordinary details of our lives. This is not about reading for information, it's about reading as awakening. A book, when alive in your heart, can turn your confusions into clarity, your heaviness into lightness, and your daily routine into a path of seeing your true nature. The central message of today's journey is simple. Wisdom isn't locked away in monasteries or scriptures available in your kitchen, your workplace, your commute. If you know how to let the words of the sutra sink into your heart, and I promise you this, by the end of this video, you'll see how an ancient book can become a mirror that shows you who you are, right here, right now. A book that sees you. We often think we are the ones reading books, but sometimes it feels as if the book is reading us. The Platform Sutra has this quality. Its words are deceptively simple, but yet they cut through the layers of confusion and self-deception we carry. Imagine opening the text and reading a "do not think of good, and do not think of evil." At that very moment, your true nature reveals itself, as suddenly you realize the storm of judgments you've been carrying about yourself, about others, is the very thing clouding your vision. The sutra doesn't give you new information. It clears away the fog so you can see the mountain that was always there. Isn't it astonishing that words written over 1,000 years ago can feel as though they were meant for the struggles you face this very morning? Daily life as a sutra. Let's bring this down to the level of daily life. You're washing dishes, annoyed at the endless chores, but then you remember the sutra's teaching. When the mind is unattached, the ordinary becomes the path. Suddenly the dish in your hand is no longer a bird and is a bell of mindfulness. The warm water, the circular motion, the sound of rinsing, all of it becomes meditation. Or you're stuck in traffic, restless and frustrated, you recall and do not dwell anywhere. Let the mind be free. You breathe it. A red light becomes a teacher. Instead of seeing delays, you see an invitation to pause, to rest. The ordinary moment becomes sacred. Isn't it incredible how quickly life shifts when you allow wisdom to enter even the smallest act? Stories of transformation through reading. Consider Anna, a young woman overwhelmed by self-doubt. One night she stumbled upon the Platform Sutra and read, "In your mind is already pure. It is only covered by dust." She wept, realizing she had been chasing worth her entire life, when all along her worth was already intact. From then on, whenever self-criticism arose, she whispered, "Hey, this is just dust," and returned to our natural clarity. Or think of David, a retiree struggling with loneliness. He read, "In when you see your own nature, you are never alone." Slowly he began to sense that awareness itself was companionship, that he was never separate from life. His solitude transformed into spaciousness. Aren't these stories reminders that books are not dead objects, but living companions when read with the heart? Seeing your nature in the mirror of words. The Platform Sutra insists that enlightenment is not about acquiring something new, but about seeing what has always been true. The words of the text act like a mirror. You don't stare at the mirror to admire the glass, you look to see yourself. When you read without thought, "This is the true mind," you suddenly recognize that the identity you cling to, your job, your age, your history, is only a costume. Behind it, there is something vast, still and radiant. That recognition isn't given to you by the book, it's uncovered in you by the book. And isn't that the highest form of education? Not to fill your head, but to reveal your heart. Practical ways to read as awakening. So how can you let a book like the Platform Sutra light up your daily life? First, to read slowly. Don't rush for quantity. One line can be enough for a day. Carry it with you, like a lantern, illuminating each situation you encounter. Second, to read with your body. When the sutra says, do not cling, notice how your shoulders relax, your breath deepens. Let the words shape not just your mind, but your entire being. They're to read with openness. Don't argue with the test. Let it challenge you. If it feels uncomfortable, then stay with it. Sometimes the discomfort is exactly the place where growth is waiting. Life as a living sutra. The more you read this way, the more you realize something remarkable. Life itself is a sutra. Every interaction, every frustration, every joy is a passage waiting to be read. When your mind is clear, the text of life reveals itself everywhere. Quarrel with a loved one becomes a teaching on patience. Failure at work becomes a teaching on impermanence. Moment of laughter becomes a teaching on joy without attachment. Isn't it beautiful to think that the entire world is a scripture, if only we learn how to read it? Reflection before we end. So let me ask you, what book has been a lamp for you? And how might you allow its light to shine not just in your mind, but in the very way you live each day? The Platform Sutra reminds us that wisdom is not far away. It is here in the soap bubbles of your sink, in the glow of a traffic light, in the sound of your own breath. All it takes is the willingness to let words pierce the mind and awaken the heart. I invite you to pick one line from a book that speaks to you and carry it with you today. Let it color your experiences, and then share in the comments how it shifted your perspective. And don't forget to like and subscribe and support this channel so we can continue walking together on the path where books become lamps and life itself becomes scripture. Thank you for watching this video.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the Soulmate Test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now.
http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.